and all that, getting hit multiple times. Coming out of that bike section, more drivers coming to blows.
Well, hello and good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Slow Motion Broadcasting, and welcome to Season 4 of 2025 for the Metro Auto Rebuild Weekend Warriors League. This is round 9 of the season, coming to you today at Road America. My name is Ron Mons. Alongside me in the commentary booth is Charles Boshell. Guido Marzucchi is our producer for tonight's broadcast. In case you guys didn't know, Ron sent me a bit of a blurb on the intro, and he forgot to change all of the names and everything. My name is not Ron Mons. My name is Adam Thompson. I am still joined, though, by Charles Boshell and Guido Marzucchi in the booth. We are at Road America this afternoon. The good version, not the kink version. So a sign outside Road America's Turn 5 proudly declares the facility as America's National Park of Speed. It's hard to put forward a counter-argument, with the layout largely unchanged since the mid-1950s inauguration. And this 4-mile course has played host to some of the country's most prominent road racing championships. We were talking about this last night watching the F1 race, Charles, and, you know, we've got these F1 tracks that go to places like Miami and Vegas and stuff like that. And you've got racetracks like this in the U.S. This is probably one of the best ones.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Without a doubt. I'd say it's definitely, depending on your preference for tracks, it's probably in everybody's top three, though, with Road Atlanta and Watkins Glen being the other two. But, yeah, fantastic racetrack. And you're right, just wall to wall, top end speed for the great majority of this lap. And, strangely enough, this is almost the exact same length as Spa. So that gives you an idea of how long this racetrack is. But fantastic racing here. And the SRFs always put on a great show here. And we are in for a barn burner for today.
We are. Speaking of barn burners, let's get to the points, and then we can get to this crazy 4-mile lap that we're going to have to watch as we just watched Dirk Braun go fastest. But as of right now, in Spec 1, Nathaniel Schramm with 688 points. Kane Halliburton hot on his heels and making a run. This man has been on fire lately for the Spec Racer Fords in P2, with Jason Green in third, 584. Joshua Justice and Dirk Braun round out your top 5 in Spec 1. In Spec 2, we've got Alexander Gorison with 492 points. Very close battle between himself, Matt Thompson, and Dmitry Lukinov in third position. Dmitry is not just quick in the Formula Fords, he's pretty quick here too. Paul Jackson and Kevin Adrian rounding out your top 5. In the Masters class, we've got another one here. Jorg Mani and Antonio Reese, those drivers, they're friends on the they're friends off the track, they're friends in Discord, but they can become rivals on the track if they keep this up. Jorg Mani, Antonio Reese, your top 2. Chris Thorpe in third, Brad Cathcart in fourth, with Kurt Nunez rounding out your top 5. So, do we have keys to the race today, Charles?
We do, as a matter of fact. So let's bring that up. Today, drafting is the name of the game. This lap is almost designed for these cars. Lots of drafting opportunities, lots of places to make moves, both on the straightaways and in the corners. So there's going to be lots of passing involved in today's race. We could see some black flags due to track limits. There are some sneaky little off tracks here that will catch you out. And they will accumulate quickly as you're trying to keep that car's momentum up as much as you possibly can. And then finally, you got to watch the curbs here. They will chew you up and spit you out, especially on some of these exit curbs. So this final corner being one of those, you're going to have to be very, very careful. And those are the 3 big keys to today's race. But I wrote these as we were prepping for the race, as I was watching the crowd shuffle in. And I would have added, obviously, the fact that we've got, I think, 48 or 49 cars on the grid today is going to be another factor in this race for sure.
We have 49 cars. Our producer, Guido, is going to be extremely busy today. But right now, I want him to pick a car that we're going to go on board with here. And it looks like we're watching Alexander Gorison right now as he's coming up to the start-finish line here, and he does have a bit of tow as well, so we'll see how we can get on with this lap. You mentioned draft being the name of the game, and here we go. Start-finish line, full speed, seems like forever. Guido mentioned going to get some coffee earlier. I'm pretty sure these drivers, if they have coffee in their cars, they can take a sip of it as they get to turn 1, which is right now. Excuse me. Going through turn 1, you can take quite a bit of curb there on the exit, but you got to be careful. Off tracks are available there, and so is getting too wide and catching quite a bit of grass and getting sideways. Now through turn 2, same deal through there. Technically turn 3, I guess, even though it basically is straight from 1 to 2. That is turn 3. Now going through the moraine sweep of turn 4. This is when things are going to get a bit dicey, especially on lap 1. If they don't all wreck on turn 1, they're probably going to wreck here. Turn 5. Just kidding. I know these drivers are better than that. Got to be careful downhill braking. You can take a lot of curb on the entry, as you saw there. Catches the curb. You can get out super wide there on exit as well. Now going up through underneath the Corvette sign for turn 6. It gets pretty technical through here for a few corners. Turn 6 now. Coming up now to turn 7. Turn 7 is almost full throttle. You do have to lift just a little bit, though, in these vehicles. Now down to turn 8, back down the hill for one of the funnest parts of the racetrack, in my opinion. Turn 9, also known as a carousel. Gorson gets it wrong, or sorry, Gorson does not get it wrong. The car ahead does, and I do want to mention that as well. That is a very easy spot. As you're going down the hill, the change in elevation, the change in camber will cause some issues, definitely. So now we're going to get back on board here with Nathaniel Schramm. We're going to try to get maybe as close as we can through turn 8, and we're going to, while we're doing that, Charles, we can talk about that and then get on here with Nathaniel. Well, we're going to do it now. But since we've already talked about this part of the lap, let's talk about turn 8 for a minute. It's treacherous right there.
It really is. I think turn 8 is very difficult, as you said, downhill braking zone. Easy to lock up, easy to get too much curb and get too wide, get out in the grass. But we have to mention, obviously, the SCCA runoffs were yesterday. We have to mention, we can't call Nate Schramm just Schramm. We have to call him Champion Nate Schramm, the SCCA runoffs SRF champ for 2025. So great race. And if you didn't get a chance to watch that, go to iRacing and pull up their YouTube and watch the final lap. It was absolutely amazing. 4 cars within a tenth of a second at the end, and Schramm coming from P4 out of the final corner to take the victory. Absolutely brilliant drive. So I kind of blew him up with Discord a little bit also yesterday after watching that race. So, great run. I think here, as you said, 5, very difficult. 6 is also difficult because you're kind of hitting the braking zone as you crest this hill. Makes it very difficult as you see cars running wide. You get lockups through there. Then you get in here into the hurry downs through turn 7, almost flat. And then we're going to get back to turn 8, and we'll finish to pick up the lap for the rest of the way through, Adam.
Here we go. JG2 is giving Schramm an amazing tow at the moment, and we see it again through turn 8. Watch that corner. We're going to have a lot of incidents there today, Mr. Producer. Good luck catching all of them. Through the carousel, though, you've got to be patient, but you've got to be quick through here. You don't have to be as patient as you think, but you got to be more patient than you think, if that makes any sense, to get back on the throttle. Now, the kink to the left, they're not taking that. They're going to be basically full throttle through here as well. A bit of a lift from Nathaniel, though. Got to watch the off track there on the left side. That's another spot. If you take that too quick, you got too much tow, too much dirty air. You catch that grass there, and you're spinning across the racetrack at about 130 miles an hour. Not good for anybody behind you. Into turn 12 now, Canada corner. I do believe that Mr. Guido Marzucchi has a thought about Canada corner after running the runoffs in the Formula V's yesterday as well. Now, up here into through turn 13, now through turn 14. Get as much slipstream as you can. Nathaniel gets a little bit loose on entry, but he gets it perfect. JG2 is giving him a hell of a tow all the way up to the start-finish line here. Let's see what Nathaniel can do. It looked like a great lap on board. Can he do much better? You can tell JG2 was giving him as much as he could of a tow. I don't know if he meant to. He cannot go any better. 225.956, 225.742 for Felix Samoas.
Yeah, absolutely. And great lap there by Nate Schramm. And you saw how the draft is going to play into this. I think I heard Jason, being one of the admins, just kind of mentioning to everybody, you can bump draft during the race, but you can't bump draft during qualifying because that 0-8 contact will invalidate your lap. So we're going to come back, and I think Adam's got some kind words from our sponsors, Metro Auto Rebuild.
I do. This is obviously season 10 of the Ray Esports Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors League, but this year it is called, or this season, it's the 10th year, whatever. You know what I meant. Leave me alone, Guido. This is the 10th year. Excuse me. So for the 10th year, it is now the Metro Auto Rebuild Weekend Warriors League, and because it's not the Ray Esports League anymore, it's because Metro Auto Rebuild has decided to sponsor the whole season of Spec Racer Ford. So when it comes to repairing your vehicle after an accident, you will hear a lot of different terms thrown out around, like aftermarket or reconditioned parts, blend within the panel, spot refinish, direct repair program. Who knows any of that? Well, you don't have to. The list goes on, but before you make any final decisions, ask us for the true definition of those words. In most cases, they may not be the best thing for your car. If you want your vehicle restored using factory methods and specifications with OEM required tools and equipment, depend on the professionals at Metro Auto Rebuild. We will give you honest answers about the repair process, your rights, and your responsibilities. You want someone who is there with you every step of the way. We'll get you back on the road safely, timely, and with our guarantee that you'll love our workmanship. Please let us answer any questions you have about the repair process. We're here to answer your questions about estimates, insurance company coordination, and billing, as well as rental car coordination. Visit our website anytime at metroautorebuild.com. Again, metroautorebuild.com. We would like to thank Metro Auto Rebuild for sponsoring this season of the Spec Racer Ford Weekend Warriors. And it has been a great one so far. Thank you so much to Metro Auto Rebuild. I don't know if they could have picked a better one to sponsor. Every one of these seasons have been good, but we have got some pretty good battles forming for the championship this season, Charles.
Yeah, absolutely do. Obviously, that battle between the top two, just about in every class, is just tightening up. And then we got Lukanov running in third. It seems like he's just gaining ground week after week after week. He just keeps getting better. We talked about it in the Formula Fords as well. But yeah, it's a great season this season. It's great to see our numbers back to what I remember when I first started broadcasting on another unnamed broadcasting service. 40 to 50 cars every week. It's just been amazing, and obviously, this being SCCA runoff weekend, I'm sure has brought out more than the fair share. As we see some new names on the grid as well this weekend. So hopefully they catch the bug of the Metro Auto Rebuild Weekend Warriors League for the SRFs, and they make it a habit to come over here every Sunday and run with us, because it's been amazing to watch. And it's going to make for an amazing first lap of this race, just trying to get all these cars sorted out. So looking forward to the start of this, as we've got about a minute and a half left in qualifying, which is end up going to be really, in reality, about 5.5 minutes, as we'll get an extra lap with Declan Marston jumping to the top of the grid there with a 225.61. The draft is working well in the qualifying session as well, and that's, not necessarily you don't have to be at the front, but it's going to help obviously keep you out of some trouble in the early going, as you're not having to fight with some cars in the mid-pack.
Yeah, that is correct. But I mean, Charles, I talk about this. I feel like sometimes I don't know how Ron does it, because I feel like I repeat myself quite a bit, and I know Ron does, because Ron has about a Rolodex of 20 jokes, and he uses all of them every race. But I have said this before about this racetrack. I don't think it matters where you start here. I really don't. If you start in front, if you start in P1 or P2, you might be P8 by the time you get through turn 3. You could get absolutely swallowed up, because you've got these drivers. They're probably going to want to wait, which is not going to go well, I don't think, because a lot of times if you wait for the green flag, it does stack things up, but they don't want that draft to start, that slipstream to really start hitting them into turn 1, because if it does, like I said, if you're on the outside or the inside, I expect to see 4 wide going into turn 1 here on lap 1, and I think that's going to continue. So I don't think it really matters. It's more about staying clean and being smart about where you make your overtakes. You've got to be smart, but you've got to be aggressive.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of those where you have to be cautiously aggressive here as you're making your move. You have to make sure that run sticks and you can get clear of the car. You don't want to fight too wide, because too wide through corners just basically invites everybody behind to bunch up. So yeah, I think the leader probably leaves it a little late just to keep the draft down going into turn 1. But then when you get down into turn 3 and then again in turn 5, it's going to be 3, probably 4 wide. And that's going to do one of two things. It's either going to give you a breakaway up front of some number of cars, or it's just going to basically, you're going to take about a quarter of the group out in the first lap, which is not what we want to see. We want to see all these cars finish. We want to see a really good race where everybody is really racing hard. We don't want to see those big pileups, but it's, I guess you and I both kind of also kind of follow the oval. So it's just kind of like our Talladega race, right? So it's you want to pick your spot, and you want to keep your car clean till the end of the race, so then you can make your moves. So that's, as an analog, I think that's probably an appropriate one.
what's the word, prejudicing you a little bit here, Charles. But just because you've got the accent and I don't, doesn't mean that I'm not an oval guy as well.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. I was actually saying I thought you were an oval guy, kind of like I am. So, yeah.
For sure. But just because I got the fortune of not being born in the South. I'm kidding. Being in Indiana, obviously Indianapolis is right there. I grew up about an hour away from Indianapolis. So the oval racing there, big Jeff Gordon, big NASCAR guy. So yeah, when it comes to road racing, I mean, you talked about this. We talked about the runoffs that happen here, the virtual runoffs that just happened. This is, I think, the road racers' Daytona 500, I would say. I mean, this is what these road racers live for, and this is the track that can do it. Now, a lot of drivers do not like draft tracks. We were watching, by the way, a couple of these drivers come back across the line here trying to improve their laps. Not seeing much. I expected Jason to do that. He was in quite a bit of slipstream, but just couldn't make it happen, but still started P3. But yeah, I mean, a lot of drivers, including myself, when you talked about in the last race, the Formula Fords, about the driver skill, really it doesn't matter how much you practice or anything like that. Sometimes it just comes down to driver skill, car setup, all that stuff. This is the exact opposite of that. I don't think you have to be the best driver on the track because of the amount of slipstreaming opportunities.
No, I would agree. You don't have to have the fastest outright pace here to be competitive because of the draft. And obviously these cars are probably, these and the Formula V's, I think, are probably two of the best drafting cars that are in iRacing completely. I mean, anywhere in any form or fashion. So it's going to be one of these that I think what we'll see is a frantic start. We'll see the first couple of laps, and I think we settle down and get into a more of a fuel save mode, because I think that the drivers obviously want to make a very quick pit stop here. This is one of the differences between here and the runoffs yesterday. It was a 35-minute race yesterday, no pit stops. It's a 40-minute race today with a pit stop mandatory.
Yep.
So they have to come in. They don't have enough fuel to get to the end. So I think you'll see a little bit of a patience, a little bit of a waiting game in the mid portion of this race, and we are ready to start this thing up.
Yeah, so I'm looking here through the previous pole sitters, and we've got ourselves a new one for this season. It is Declan Marsden, the Welsh driver, in P1, pips Felix Samoas. He doesn't just pip him. I mean, a tenth of a second around Road America is pretty damn good. Jason Green starting P3 with Trenton Kramer, P4. Antonio Reese, the first Masters driver, but look who's lining up right behind him in P7 is Jorg Mani. Splitting those two on the right-hand side is going to be Kane Halliburton, Nathaniel Schramm, P8. Ian Joyner, P9 with Christian Kabanka in P10. Dirk Braun in P11 with Flavio Andalo rounding out the top 12. In 13th position, we've got Sammy Hendricks, Aleix Pleva in P14. Sergio Dorelli in P15 with Mario Strelick in P16. Scott Russell going to be starting in P17 with Rich Meesters in 18th. Dmitry Lukanov did not have the greatest of qualifyings there. Charles starting in P19 with Kurt Nunez in P20.
Yeah, and once again, it's not where you start, it's where you finish, and we'll see how he does in that mid-pack traffic. Manfred Floor starting in 21st. Steve Saunders starts in P22. Josh Justice starting in 23rd. Joaquin Osbeck starting in 24th. Alexander Gorson starts in P25. Outside of row 13 is Philip Berry in the Cookie Monster car. Adam Brashaw starting in 27th. Kevin Adrian in 28th. Chris Murakami in 29th. Dan Wood starting in 30th. James Calden starts in P31. Kane Lasky starting in P32. Andres Svoboda starting in 33rd. Josh Wilkie, our boss around here, starting in 34th. Hugh Simpkins starting in 35th. Artur Lorero starting in 36th. Andy Middleton starting in 37th. Matt Thompson starting in P38. Brad Cathcart in 39th. Jason Dunnington starting in P40. And then rounding out the rest of the grid, Chris Thorpe in 41st. Paul Jackson in 42nd. Andrew Love in 43rd. Michael G. Nelson starting in 44th. Klaus Muller starting in 45th. Marcel Gorson starting in 46th. Jerome Sater starting in 47th. Russ Telker starting in 48th. Jeff Jacobson starting in P49. And Stephen Hicks rounds out your 50-car grid for today's race. Oh, boy, Here we go.
You know, I do believe that Stevie Ray, I believe the car cap here for the Weekend Warriors, I think it's 63, and we got pretty close to that. We needed 13 more drivers in it today. So, yeah, this is going to be a great turnout. 50 cars. I don't know. I mean, I don't even know if this camera shot's going to get all 50. Oh, it will, barely, underneath the Sargento cheese board. My buddy Kevin Irwin from Wisconsin, going to be loving that cheese board up there. But, yeah, at the moment, still going to be watching these drivers, and now we can kind of talk about this in slow motion. We already went around it right here. Charles, this is going to be a point of contention. You can get pretty wide here, catch some grass, and then the other point of contention, obviously we already went through it, was turn 1, also turn 3, but turn 8 is going to be where I think we're going to see quite a few issues.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think the one that I always talk about when we come to Road America is the kink. We always I always tell my drivers on my team, don't pass in the kink. If somebody wants to send it there, let them go. Don't fight that. There's too many things that can go wrong in the kink. It's a very high-speed corner. You have to have almost a perfect line, even with these cars at 140 miles an hour or so as they're running through there. There's too much room for error, and so you just kind of let that go. So yeah, turn 8, turn the kink as well, which is I guess turn 11. It's turn 6 to me always seems like it's an issue, just because of the way you have to brake in the cresting the hill. It just seems like these cars, especially with no analog brakes, you just tend to see lockups and cars pushing wide there. So there are several little pitfalls on this track in amongst all the speed that we're going to be driving as we're getting these tires warmed up. But just, we got to be patient here on lap 1. I know everybody's going to want to try and push to the front, but it's easy to get to the front, but it's a lot easier to get to the back. So you got to be very careful here at the start of this race.
I mean, and here's the other issue. We're talking about the kink as we're watching the tail end of the field starting to drive through it here right now. But the other issue with the kink is when you've got 50 cars on track, how hard is it going to be single file, especially for the first few laps? I mean, we can say this all day long, like, hey, you need to be single file. But when you've got 50 freaking people, 49 other drivers around you, it's easier said than done.
It really is, but once again, the problem with the kink is if you get too wide, there's a limit. You can take it wide and run through the grass and kind of recover the car, but everybody wants to just try and hang on to it, and that's when you run into problems because that curb on the outside just will basically just shoot you right back across the track, and you're going to end up collecting several other cars in that process. And I think we're ready to go green here, Adam.
We are ready to go green. We've got 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. Multiply that by about 25. And here we go. It looks like we're already green. Declan gets a great start. I think Felix may have gamed that just a little bit to get in line. He did not want to be too wide. Jason Green, though, already thinking about a move down to the inside. Oh, and here we go. We're already thinking about 4 wide, 3 wide. No, we're still 2 wide. Jason Green moves his way up into P2. Felix Amo started in P2. He's already back to P4. Look at the amount of cars. 3 wide about to go into turn 3, and it's looking like that was Kane Lasky, I believe. Oh no, that's Declan Marsden around.
That's the leader around in turn 3. We see damage on the front of the car. Is that, I think that's Kane Halliburton. Yeah, got major front end damage there as he's falling to the back as well. So obviously turn 3 wide. We didn't talk about it, but we're still 3 wide coming down into turn 5 for the first time. You see the lockups already starting to happen. They're going to get all through here. Oh, so far so good. Oh, that was so close there. Looks like just looking to see if there's anybody off screen. I think everybody made it through so safely. Kevin Adrian, I see, is falling to the back as well. So we missed that somewhere as they're working their way through 6 now.
Declan Marsden has a little bit of damage, but I think he might have gotten away with that from what I saw from that TV shot of that car. He doesn't look like he's doing too badly right now, as we're seeing. That was there's 2 cars. The number 110 car, they're both blue. I cannot remember. I think the 110 is
Ozbek.
That's Ozbek. So the 99 is going to be
Josh Justice.
Is Josh Justice. So we've got 2 very blue cars. Just looking for the big white 99 on the front of Justice cars there. There you go, right there. Oh no, speaking of Ozbek, he's around.
Oh, wow. Oh, man. That's the Ozbek.
Oh, no, that's not good.
No,
Get on the brakes.
No.
Oh, my God. He was on the brakes. The car kept sliding, but how did everybody avoid him? It's carnage back there. You mentioned it. Was that at the kink as well, Charles?
Yeah, it's just so tricky through there. But luckily, yeah, Ozbek sliding across the track, trying to keep the car trying to get the car stopped. And everybody else did a great job of just avoiding that. And without having any more incidents, and we do, I think Kane Halliburton has left the session. Just not a great start for him. Too much damage on the front as we see Ozbek rolling again. So he's dropped to the back of the field. It's going to be very tough. He's going to have to run some really quick laps to try and catch the back and maybe work his way back up.
Yeah, absolutely. Back down the front stretch for lap number 2 here. Now we've got Antonio Reese, double Antonio, going for the lead on Jason Green. Trent Kramer slotted in P3 with Felix Samoz in P4. Those top 4, 5, 6 drivers, I would say, really starting to maybe pull a gap on Christian Kubica, but those top 6 drivers, those are all 6 very, very quick drivers here, Charles.
Yeah, and Kubica's no slouch either. We've seen him before. I think that's just maybe where the natural gap was from the incident earlier. He's still within a second. As you see, 1 second gap there. It just popped up. We'll see what happens if he can close that gap down as we get some fighting up at the front. That'll help, and that helps him close it down. But we don't have any gaps over a second all the way down to P23. So that
look at that.
Just we see, car off. That's the Strelich in the 47 car, a little wide there through turn 5. Could not see if there was contact or not, but you can see, as we see that's, I believe that's Chris Murakami in the 901 car, a little wide through 5 as well. So 5 already starting to catch a few drivers out as the gaps are starting to grow just a little bit here and there.
You mentioned it. Jorg Monty and Felix, that was not Jorg Monty, Nathaniel Schramm went too wide going through turn 5. Not only did that bring Christian Kubica to them, it brought them way further away from now. It is a 4-car breakaway between Jason Green and Felix Samoz here. And you've got drivers, I know Felix, Jason, and Trenton Kramer and Antonio Reese all race together quite a bit here. So, and you can see what they're doing here. It's almost looking like they're not doing bump drafting. Look at this. Look at these back and forth, these switchbacks. This almost looks coordinated up at the front.
It does look like they're trying to do the old leapfrog there and using the draft to get ahead. That Scott Russell off out to the left. So he's able to rejoin safely as Canada Corner starts to bite a little bit. But I don't think the leapfrog is the key here. I don't think that's going to work. I think just what that does, it actually makes you a wider draft for the cars behind because now you've got 2 cars to draft off of. It just blocks more air that way. I think that's going to be not the fastest way around. I think bump drafting, as we see Samoa's looking to the inside, is going to be the key here. But we'll watch. We'll see what happens as that 4-car pack tries to get away with Schramm leading that second group.
Yeah, and right now these drivers are pretty clean at the front. I say that. It looks like Antonio, I don't know, he's trying to slot back in. Jason Green gives him the spot to slot in. Right now, these guys up at the front are doing exactly what they have to do. When they go for moves, they go for moves that are surefire, get the move done before corner entry. They're doing everything they have to do while these drivers behind are battling. And here's the deal. You've got a 4-car pack here right now. And the reason I say that is you've got about a 6-car pack behind them, but you can see 2 of them. It's 2 by 2 behind them. And that's what's going to be causing issues here. If you've got 6 cars compared to 4, you've got the advantage. But if you're too wide, 2 of those rows are too wide, you can have a 4-car breakaway as long as they stay in line. They could be gone.
Absolutely. That is absolutely possible. But now you see in that second group is starting to battle side by side. They've got a massive group behind them. It's another 10 cars. So they have to be very careful because they can lose the front and then get caught by the back. And then you're going to add another 10 cars to that group. As we see that Trent Kramer wide out of turn 8, that was a nice catch because he was all kind of sideways coming out of there.
He was. And Trent Kramer, a driver that had not the best luck at Sonoma, trying to turn it around here at Road America. And again, man, how do these people get from California to Wisconsin so quick? He only had an hour to get there, Charles.
I know, it's crazy. It's almost like some kind of teleportation device. to get from one side of the country to the other. I love to see that though. And Trenton obviously is a Ray Esports Club League veteran. I call a lot of his races on during the midweek Wednesdays, and Wednesdays now. Currently used to be on Tuesday night, but very handy in those spec racer cars, and overall a pretty good driver. So he's all right up there. It doesn't look like he's really pushing the issue very much. He's content to stay at the back of that group. But you see the champ there, Nate Schramm, is starting to close that gap. He's dropping Jorg Monty and the rest of that group just a little bit. So he's trying to make that jump up to that lead pack, and if he does, oh boy, as you see, fastest lap of the race now, 2:25.947.
You just saw Jason Green started at the final corner in P4. Trenton Kramer was in P3. Jason popped out. Trent went with him, and they are now P1 and 2. Trent was pushing JG2 all the way down that straightaway. Unbelievable. Still going good. And look at Nathaniel Schramm. This is now a 2x2 by 1 by 1 by 2 by about 50. And right now it looks like Nathaniel Schramm doesn't need any help. He's going to get there on his own, and that is showing outright pace, Charles. And if I'm those drivers in front, that's scary.
It really is, and it is. You want to keep him behind you, but it doesn't look like he's going to be denied today. He looks like he is ready to race. As we see Lukin off of the slowdown on the board, running in P15. He has moved up a little bit, but that's going to hamper his progress. I will just kind of add that we had Russ Helker and Andre Zavoboda, both with meatballs. They're both in the pits now getting the car serviced.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, but I do believe there's one quick repair in here, so they're going to be able to get that quick repair done. The problem is they've got it. They got the meatball just a bit too early. We talked about this in the Formula Ford race a bit earlier. If you get that meatball with about 10 minutes in the race, you're going to be okay. If you get it right now, it's a little bit early. You're going to have to pit again for fuel at the end.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's going to be, if nothing else, it'll be a lot of fuel saving to get to the end at the 8.5 minute mark. So we'll see where they come out. And, once again, you might can make it work. But, contact.
Oh, my goodness.
And Antonio Reese, holy cow, how did they save those?
If Mr. Producer could get a replay of that, I'm pretty sure Felix Samoas needs, the next time he goes into the pits, he needs his pit crew to give him a new change of pants, as well as Antonio Reese. How did they get through that? Unbelievable. That could have been mass carnage behind them through one of the fastest parts of the racetrack.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's obviously that's given the top two, Kramer and Green, a chance to get away a little bit, but they're still within a second, so not quite. So we see Dirk Braun now with a off track and falling down to order. I think
he's in the pit lane.
Good. I think he's got a black flag. So I'm not sure if that's maybe speeding on the pit entry. It's the only thing I can think of. So we'll see. We'll look at his pit stop time when he gets done, and it'll be pretty apparent if that's what the black flag is for. So he dropped down. Sergio Dorelli's dropped down as well. He's coming into the pits, so I'm not sure. I don't think those cars were together on the track, so it might have been separate incidents somewhere.
It could have been, but drivers that aren't worried about anything behind them right now is Trenton Kramer and Jason Green. Felix Samoas. Look at Nathaniel Schramm. We want to talk about outright pace. There was a bit of an issue between Felix Samoas and Antonio Reese, which probably did not hurt Nathaniel Schramm's chances in getting up into P4. But right now, I don't know if he's going to want to wait around. I mean, with that pace that we saw at the beginning of the race, keep an eye on Nathaniel Schramm. Jason Green and Trenton Kramer right now are probably talking to each other saying, we have got to push. We've got to go. So we'll see exactly what happens here and see if Jason Green and Trenton Kramer are going to be nose to tail and bump drafting, or if they're not. I mean, again, I don't know the best course of action here because, again, Charles, we talked about it. You think the drafting is going to be probably the way to go, but the front ends of these cars are pretty fragile.
They are, but I think these guys have done a lot of bump drafting during the course of their careers, especially in the Spec Racer. They're durable enough that you can bump draft pretty easily. We've seen, bump drafts quite a bit here as you see Jason Green doing it the right way. down the straightaway where you're supposed to be doing that bump draft and
Yes.
not in the corners, obviously. But you see now the second group has caught up as we've got the draft is just too powerful here.
It is.
That second group is just able to catch back up. So now you're at, I think it was like 5, 6. Pleva's trying to jump on the back of this group as well. That's going to bring those 3 in. So we might have 8 here in short order as the draft just keeps pulling those cars back together. It's like it's like a magnet that these cars are just getting on a string, being pulled together the further we go into this race, as we see Green now popping out to move to the lead.
Yep, Green going to the right here. Let's see if Felix Samoas wants to do the same thing here. If he's going to stay behind Trenton Kramer, he's sticking a bit of a fender out there. He decides to stay behind. Antonio Reese stays behind Nathaniel Schramm as well. So Nathaniel has gotten to this lead group. Now they're just hanging out, and we're talking about a lead group that was 4 cars. It has turned into 8. And if you look at that interval here, something I want to mention is we're seeing Adam Bradshaw, Scott Russell going at it behind in P18, P19. Adam Bradshaw actually fell down a couple positions. There is way too much going on here to be able to cover the whole field. And the reason I say that, if you look at those intervals, so we have an interval, everyone is within a second of each other all the way up to P9. Then there's Flavio Andalo, Krisha Konbeka, Dmitry Lukinov 4 seconds. And then from Dmitry Lukinov back, it might as well basically just be it's a carnage. And that looks like, that's
Bradshaw?
Russell. Oh, that's Brad?
I think that's Adam Bradshaw. Yeah, I think it's Adam Bradshaw.
Okay.
I did see, I'm just kind of looking, I'm watching. We've got some black flag. Ooh.
That's Wilkie's involved in that. We'll get back going again. Everyone's on the break. Oh, no, the rejoin. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Well, then. So that happened, and it sounds like Strelich was the one that started rolling, then he stopped, and he started rolling again, and caused some issues. So that was a big one. We're going to have to go back and watch that whenever our producer can get that one queued up, because that was one of those spots we talked about at turn 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God!
Already in progress there, as they were like 4 or 5 wide, going down into turn 5, and you just saw just once one hit, first contact made. It's just it's the pinball effect, and not the greatest move to rejoin there by Strelich. And I'm sure somebody might give him pass him a little note here later on this week. As this race gets reviewed. But 8-car draft up front. We've got now Pleva, Jorg Monty, Masters running in P2, and then Ian Joyner, who's a race winner here in both the Formula Fords and the Spec racers, is in that group as well. So you got 8 very fast drivers up here in this front group. And it seems to be, it seems to be they've calmed down a little bit, but it still looks like that Jason Green is going to move back to the front. So they're still trying the little leapfrog up at the front of the field as these cars are getting runs. And we see Declan Marsden in the pits with a black flag. I've seen other black flags. Hugh Simpkins has got a black flag. Strelich now has a black flag. I think Jeff Jacobson had a black flag earlier. So I don't know if what's going on with some of these guys, as we've had several issues here that we haven't been able to keep track of during the course of this race.
So 13X for a drive-through, 18X for a DSQ, and it is easy to get off tracks around here. So that I have a feeling we're probably seeing a lot of off tracks from drivers. Well, we're not seeing them because there's freaking battles going on all over the field. I mean, we can go back to just our producer could pick a car to go to, and they're probably battling with somebody right now. So it's just one of those things that you've got to deal with when you've got close draft racing like this with 50 cars on the racetrack. But again, 13X, Charles, is a pretty small limit.
It really is. And to emphasize that point, Russ Telker has just been disqualified from the race. So that will be the 17X limit. We did see also with Scott Russell in the pits with a meatball flag. So he had an incident somewhere that we weren't able to catch. So Road America starting to do a little bit of damage to our field here as we still got this 8-car battle up front. And the gap's now opened up. Looks like Andalo may have made a little bit of a mistake there behind Christian Kabeka. and has dropped off that just a little bit. So it's a 4-second gap from Cabanca up to Joyner to the lead pack. Andalo about 1.5 back, Gorson about 4 behind him, with a host of driving buddies there for Gorson.
Britton Kramer right now is if he's activating whatever system he's got in that car, if he's got hydraulics to lower the car, if he's got freaking oil to throw down at the back of the car, whatever he's got to do, because right now he's 0.7 of a second ahead, still within that draft range though of Jason Green. But this is the biggest gap we've seen from a leader so far, and you can see now Nathaniel Schramm is pushing Jason Green, and that was almost 0.8 of a second on the final corner, is now down to within 0.1 of a second going into turn 1.
That's just it. And that was the bump draft plus the normal draft of just getting the toe. And half-second wipes away in the span of a straightaway. And so that gap that he had built is completely gone. And we're back to single file order here as we've got this third group of cars there, I think, with Justice Lukanov leading that group, Josh Justice sitting right behind him, Alexander Gorson, Sammy Hendricks, Rich Meesters, a host of others. As we're back to the front here, Antonio Reese looking to the inside at turn 5 to try and make that move around, and that's just going to tighten that pack up a little bit more. Not able to get that done. He's going to slot back into second place, but that was very, very dangerous as you see him running wide, and he's taking a few cars with him.
Yeah, so again, got to keep an eye on the off tracks, and Trent almost gets another one going through not the kink, but one of the kinks in turn 7. Now down to turn number 8, too wide through turn 8. These drivers are making it. They're showing that it can be done, but turn 8, again, very, very sketchy spot. But now Jason Green is in that position, 0.6 of a second ahead. We are going to watch this interval come down in a freaking hurry right now. Jason Green about to come through the kink, down to 0.5. Just watch it. 0.55, 0.52, 0.4. Gonna be down to 0.3 very shortly, then down to 0.2. By the time they get into turn number 12, it's gonna be 0.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just that's the name of the game here today, and we said it earlier as we see how Chris Murakami with a black flag. Ooh, there's a car off, and that was who was that in that car? That was Pleva, off a little wide there. Manages to get it corralled, but drops down to P6. Still in this main group, so no harm, no foul yet. As Antonio Reese looks like he's coming into the pits, he's getting out of that battle for time being.
Yep, and normally Antonio is one of the first drivers to pit. He does this a lot, not as much as Stevie Ray, who is not here today. But you wonder if that's the problem that may not be the best, is we've got a lap car coming out in front of this battle. This is not good.
Yeah, that was Josh Wilkie coming in as we start seeing the okay, so we're here to correction there. That was not Wilkie. That was a different car. But as I was saying, we're starting to see a host of cars coming in now. Antonio has unlocked the door for the pit lane and has brought several drivers with him. Hendricks, Floor, Calden, Murakami's in as well. Just a big group that's in the pits there. Middleton, Chris Thorpe, and Muller as well. So a big 8-car group. So Antonio should come out away from them. We'll see where he slots when he comes out, and if he's going to have anybody he can draft off of to start making up a little bit of time as those cars are working their way now on pit exit.
Right now, Antonio is hoping that these drivers up front start battling to lose a little bit of time. I would expect a lot of these drivers to come in together, so we'll see what happens there. But first of all, in the chat, we've got Salima here voting for Nate, saying, Nate, trophy, up number 1 finger, whoop, whoop. So clearly, Salima is a Nathaniel Schramm fan sitting right now in P3. And then Russ Telker saying, don't think I've ever been DQ'd that fast before. Russ, there's a Thompson trophy for running out of fuel. There is now a Telker trophy for not even making it halfway in a race, buddy. You are welcome. Welcome to the Telker trophy, my friend. But here we go. Jason Green, Trent Kramer, Nathaniel Schramm, Felix Samoz, all of these drivers all the way back to Jorg Monty, still in play, down to Ian Joyner, actually. 3 seconds back to Christian Kubenka. And a driver I want to talk about here, if Mr. Producer, we could go to P10, Dmitry Lukinov. We talked about how he started in 19th, 18th place. He just lost position, but he is himself in a battle. But Dmitry has made up a lot of positions, even with that slowdown. He's doing what he has to do. He is battling right now with Alexander Gorson for the Spec 2 lead.
Yep, absolutely. And this is the championship battle, or at least a couple of the drivers there. So yeah, they're racing for as many points as they can get. So we're going to get the replay here, and let's see, this is Strillick,
Stephen Hicks. Yep,
Stephen Hicks. Just running wide. And obviously that's the slower line through that corner. So he is going to lose a little bit of time there. Oh, yeah. Kubenka, Gorson in. We got Marston. Yep. So our pole sitter for today's race. And he's going to make his way through 6. And we're going to get the normal.
He's marking it.
He said, you know what? This is not working for me today, so I'm going to go take the rest of the day off. As we have more cars in the pits now, Kubenka, Meesters, Nunez, Gorson's on pit exit, Phil Berry's in, Josh Wilkie is back in, Michael Gene Nelson and Jerome Sater are all in the pits now.
Nate Gold Trophy #1 finger whoop whoop is now in the lead. Jason Green sitting in P2 with Trenton Kramer in P3. We have watched Nathaniel Schramm drive from basically P7. Oh, we got a #1 finger from Carcax as well. We've got all kinds of people up here rooting for Nathaniel Schramm this afternoon. But yeah, he drove from P7. He's up into the lead, Charles.
Yeah, having a great run. Obviously, we talked about him earlier. He's already kind of shown his pace in the SRFs at Road America this weekend. So not really much of a surprise. We'll see. Green, obviously, yesterday was running in the top 10 until the last lap, got caught up in a collision, and that ended his day a lap early. So he's got some good pace in that car as well. My guess is he's be trying to fuel save a little bit here to shorten his pit stop as best he can. But obviously these guys are putting on a pretty good show up front. They're not really taking a lot of corners off. So as you see him working his way back to the front and bringing Samoas with him.
He is, yeah. I mean, these drivers have somehow they're doing it cleanly, and I'm saying that, and welcome to the commentator's curse, everybody. Something's going to happen up here now because I have put it into the world that they are racing clean. They're probably not going to race clean that much longer, but at the moment, they're showing you how it's done. This is how you can drive, and there we go. I talked about it. 4 cars in that lead pack all peeling off at the same time, wanting to stay within that draft.
Yeah, absolutely. And I bet if I went over to the Ray Esports Spec Racer Discord, I think I would see at least 3 of those drivers sitting in there. So my guess is that was a coordinated pit stop. So as you see, Green, Samoas, Kramer, Monty, Lukinov, Justice, Bradshaw, and Love, as well as Guerrero, is all coming into the pits on the same lap. So you got the group from the front pack and then a group from that second big pack. Have all decided to come in and pit at the same time, it makes complete sense. You want a drafting buddy when you come back out, and what better than the guy that you're sitting in the Discord with during this race?
Yeah, no kidding. Sorry, you heard the giggle. I tried to mute my mic, but I couldn't. But we've got County Line Films in here now. Mr. Ron Montz in the chat saying SMB #1 foam finger. So we've got a foam finger now. Everyone's getting foam fingers today, Charles.
All right. As long as it's the first finger and not the second finger, I'll be happy.
Exactly. Yeah. I believe, according to YouTube, I do believe this is the first finger for #1. Cool. So we're probably okay there. But watching Nathaniel Schramm and Aleix Pleva go at it right now, and I would expect these drivers to be probably coming in together as well, because we watched, like you said, Charles, 4 drivers come in that lead pack, and about 6 of them came in from that second pack altogether. That is why I'm wondering if Antonio Reese, the first driver in, I don't know if he made the right call. And I'm saying that hoping he did, Mr. Double O Tonio. But we're just going to have to wait to see how all of these this pit strat works out, because right now I'm looking for Antonio Reese on the leaderboard.
Well, I was as well, and he is sitting there in P44, and he is not racing. He is not on the track. So I don't know he came in. It says, well, actually, I think that says 14. So he towed back to the pit. So I don't know if maybe he got a pit speeding penalty and just locked it down and then parked it, or what. But Antonio is no longer in the race. So it's what I'm hearing that that's kind of exactly what happened from Guido doing the research as the replays are glitched out for me. So here we go. The lead group is now in the pits: Pleva, Schramm, and Joyner, and Ondelo.
Yep, all four of them in the pits, and Felix Samoa is out by himself right now, about 0.7 of a mile. You know this racetrack is big when it starts going by miles instead of time. But right now, Felix Samoa 0.6 of a mile behind. He had a crazy good pit stop to come out 3 seconds ahead of Trenton Kramer.
Yep. So that to me says Felix has got a plan, and the plan is to short fuel and hope. And so we'll see if he underfueled or not. Obviously, I'm looking. He is by far the fastest pit stop. So he took less than everybody else. Now, whether he took enough or not, as we see the cars coming out, and we've got Joyner ahead of Schramm by a nice gap, 3-second gap, and Samoa peeling back into third. So now we've got that first group and that second group are now peeling together.
Yeah, so we do have a Thompson Trophy candidate right now of Ian Joyner. So right now, Ian Joyner is 3 seconds ahead. I do believe Ian Joyner just realized how far ahead he is. I'm pretty sure he expected some other people around him, Charles, and he's got nobody. So I would expect Ian Joyner to be falling back very, very quickly to these drivers behind him. Felix Samoa is going to be in the same boat, though. I'm pretty sure Nathaniel Schramm, Felix is going to have to make it look like Nathaniel Schramm got by him, but I'm pretty sure Felix wants Nathaniel Schramm past him, and Ian Joyner is going to have to fall back behind these two if he has any chance of making it to the end.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I think Samoa's probably want Schramm to lead this little two-car group to get up to Joyner, but they, working together, they'll catch that car. Joyner won't have to let off too much. Just naturally, those two cars are going. Yeah, he's going to want to, because he did definitely short fueled quite a bit. Schramm was a 12.7 stop time to Joyner's 9.2. So so that's an extra lap of fuel at plus. So either Joyner has a great plan or he's miscalculated somewhere. As we're continuing on here. And you see Samoas and Schramm just kind of starting to separate a little bit as these cars are starting to gap a little bit. So I don't know what's going on, but I see that Trenton Kramer and Jason Green are closing that gap in fourth and fifth. So there'll be a 4-car group here pretty quickly. But also I'm looking at Trenton Kramer. I'm looking at the timing and scoring. It looks like he is dangerously close to getting a drive-through. So he's going to have to be very careful. He's probably telling Jason, hey, don't bump me too hard. I can't afford a 4X at this point of the race.
Well, and here's the other thing, too.
Oh, there's Joyner in.
Back in the pit lane. Interesting here. I wonder if he realized he underfueled, but still, I mean, you had 10 minutes left in the race. I was about to say that could have been a master stroke by Ian Joyner, because we didn't really talk about him in these battles that much. He was just hanging out and drafting and maybe doing some massive lift and coast. I was wrong. Ian Joyner underfueled the car. He did not want that Thompson Trophy, and he's not going to get it. He did go back into the pits, but right now, look at where he's at, still falling down. I mean, in the pit lane right now, and that may be race over for him. I don't know. He is back on pit exit now, but down to P18, only a splash of fuel, but look even with a splash of fuel, how far down he went.
Yeah, he's already dropped down outside the top 20, but he's got a group of cars he's going to be able to draft with. Maybe he can pick up a spot or two during the course of the last 10 minutes of this race, 9 minutes to go now. So maybe he can pick up a spot or two before this is all done, but obviously not a chance for a win here, as we have a nice 5-car group up here for the lead. With Samoa, Schramm, Kramer, Green, and Pleva. So we're back to our main group up front, with Jorgmani trailing off by about 4 seconds. Lukanov up to P7, having a good run. That is Josh Wilkie, and that was coming through, I think, Thunder Valley there, and he just frustration driving it into the wall. Josh, you're supposed to do that after the race. As we see that Lorero has a black flag, we do have a couple more disqualifications.
Yikes.
Oh, yeah. So there's Wilkie. I think that was Andrew Love on the outside as well. Could not see who was on the inside, but Steve Hicks and Steve Saunders and Jeff Jacobson also with disqualifications.
So we're sitting here right now back in the lead, and I want to talk about the absolute pit lane dominance by Felix Samoas here. I talked about him under fueling. He didn't. Here's the thing, Charles. We look at our timing and scoring right now. His pit box time was 13.67 seconds, while Nathaniel Schramm's was 12.85. Yet somehow Felix's pit lane time was under a second, or was over a second quicker. So Felix got it right on the dot on pit entry to get it slowed down right on the money. Stayed right at that pit lane speed the whole way. Great pit stop by Felix Samoas.
Yeah, absolutely. And those, for the newcomers to iRacing that are watching this, there are better broadcasts out there, to be sure. We'll just say that up front. But those are those hidden tints that you find that can make you win a race versus lose a race. Is just getting your pit stop absolutely perfect. That appears to be what Samoas has done, and he is in that lead group with a chance to win this. As we see Gorson moving around Lukanov again, still that battle for the Spec 2 lead. Still going on with Gorson now jumping up to P7, and you see that group. There are other cars that will be involved in the end result here. We see Justice pushing Lukanov down the straightaway to take that spot back over, and I think he's going to try and get in front of Gorson as well, or he's going to look to the inside.
Oh, my goodness.
Go 3 wide. Kabanka on the outside there. Everybody gets through, so that's exactly what you need to do. They got plenty of room. They did not try and push the issue. Everybody just kind of filtered back in, and as we see the leaders back in turn 8.
Charles, the glove, they're starting. Yeah, speaking real quick here before we get to what Guido just said. Charles, the gloves, they're starting to there might be one glove off now. They're starting to pull the other glove off right now. It is starting to get into gloves off time here with about 6 minutes left in this session. And to what Guido said before I give it back to you, Charles, again, I was here when we were doing Laguna Seca, and Monty was like, I was so bored. I wasn't racing anybody, and Monty is on an island right now by himself.
Yeah, Monty's in the bubble. 4 second gap ahead, 6 second, 7 second gap behind is Lukanov and Gorson are slowing themselves down, so they're not doing themselves any favors to try to get up to Monty as they're battling for that P7 position. But yeah, you see the top 5. They're content to basically ride in line. I see Trent Kramer's moved back up to the front, 12 and second. Schramm is sitting there. Green is sitting there. I think they're just waiting. They know that this is going to get busy here in the last 5 minutes. So they're
Look
just
out,
trying to give themselves a little break here as we looking at here. Dirk Braun, Phil Berry, Michael G. Nelson working their way through Canada Corner. So successfully done as we look at this battle down here. Lukanov and Gorson heading down the front straight.
Okay, so I mentioned one glove coming off. I was kidding. Gloves are off in this second pack right now. They are 2 wide, 3 wide, sometimes 4 if one of them want to decide to make it 4, which if this stays like this, Charles, I'm pretty sure we will have 4 wide at the end of this race.
We will indeed. I think you'll see that in the group as well. Those guys aren't separating themselves at all. So that's going to be a drag race to the finish line. Now, how many cars that is, we'll wait to see, because obviously we got that whole lap ahead of us.
My God.
Getting it 3 wide, going down. Kabanka moving to the inside. Gorson in the middle, and Justice on the outside, right behind Lukanov. And they make it through. Justice playing it smart. Obviously, Josh, we talk about him being a real-life Spec Racer driver. So he understands how wide these cars are and where you can make moves and where you can't. And so he's very, very capable, very cautious about not sticking his nose in until it needs to be done. So So great job by all those guys are just keeping it clean. They're racing hard, but they are keeping it clean.
If you guys want to, like you mentioned just a little while ago, there are maybe other broadcasts that are better, Charles. But if you want to see a master class, in racing, watch these guys. You want to learn how to race 3 wide and not run into each other? Watch Spec Racer Fords, because this is unbelievable racing right now. You're seeing, You're seeing people being conservative. You're seeing this front pack being conservative. You're seeing that second pack not being conservative at all. Either way, everyone's getting through it right now, and this is unbelievable racing to watch. 2 by 2 by almost 2 again. Cars swapping. I can't even use English anymore because of how these guys are driving. Again, this is just unbelievable racing, being very respectful but very aggressive.
They are indeed, and yeah, that is. All right, are we going to get? Think?
Nope.
Okay, so 2 to go. 2 to go from here. Oh yeah, that is not good for Felix Samoas, who is taking the least amount of fuel. So he's. I think that's why you're seeing that gap just a little bit between Pleva and Samoas. Is he is maybe in conservation mode, and Schramm and Green need to be very careful. They can't get stuck behind him as he's dropping off the back of those 2 cars. So they're going to have to push him, or they're going to have to get around him, one or the other.
Take a look at Schramm's pit time as well. If you thought Samoas was in trouble, Schramm is in more trouble. Samoas sat in his box for 13 seconds, 13.67, while Schramm's only sat in it for 12.8. So Schramm has underfueled the car even more than Felix has. So right now, what we're seeing is Schramm and Felix trying to fuel save while Jason Green has enough fuel to get there, but he doesn't have enough time. This has just turned into a 2-car breakaway for the win of this race.
It really has, and as long as those guys stay nose to tail until the final few corners, the cars behind, I don't think will catch them. I don't think there's enough. I don't think that that Schramm and Samoas can push enough to go with Green. So, and Green is not going to be able to catch him by himself, I don't believe.
No, there's no way.
It's going to be So it's going to be that 2-car group. As long as they don't start fighting. They start fighting through corners, and then that's going to invite those guys back up. So we'll have to be very watchful here this final lap plus a few corners as we wrap this race up to see. We got Pleva getting that good run down the straightaway headed into Canada corner. The gap is only 1/10 of a second.
Yeah, so keep an eye on these two. I think Jason Green might find himself on an island. We may see some Thompson trophies getting handed out here between Samoas and Nathaniel Schramm. The question is, which one runs out first at this point? Because if they're battling like this, it's going to turn into something a little bit crazy as we're back here again. Kabenka, Gorison. What has happened to Lukinov? He's back, way back. Dmitry Lukinov has fallen back into P12. He's 2 seconds off the pace. Right now, Gorison has got the win for Spec 2. We've missed something here, but we're back at the lead now. What has happened here? Samoas and Schramm both in pit lane, Charles.
Yeah, both of them realizing they're not going to make it, so they don't want the Thompson trophy today, so they're going to come in and take fuel. So now that leaves Green, but he's got Jorg Monty just a little bit back. Maybe he drops back and allows Jorg to get that draft and close up the gap, and maybe those 2 cars together. We see Lukinov and Hendricks both with black flags. So now we're hitting drive-throughs, and this is not the time to get a drive-through. You do not want to drive through on the last lap. You cannot serve it.
You can't.
It's 40 seconds added to your end of race time. So it's a very, very tough break for Lukinov and for Hendricks as well. Michael G. Nelson as well, also with a black flag. So several drivers now starting to fall off because of track limit infringement.
What is going on with Green? Is Green out of fuel?
Is Green?
Okay, he's okay. He's okay. He's still driving. Let's listen. Short shifting. I don't hear any sputters. I think he's lifting early, though. I wonder if Green might be in the same boat, and I did not think Green was going to be in this boat. His pit time was 18 seconds. What is...
Oh, no.
He's clutching. He's clutching hard. He's running himself out of fuel here. Watching Trenton Kramer, though, in Aleix Pleva, this has turned into an absolute monstrous race here for Thompson trophies. Welcome to the Thompson Club, my friends. But here at the leader, we've got Trenton Kramer and Aleix Pleva going to be battling this out. 7 seconds clear of Jorgmani, who himself is on an island. These two want to be on an island. I'm sure both of them would like to be on an island in the lead, but we've got ourselves a battle going into the final part of the racetrack here, Charles.
Yeah, Kramer can't afford any contact with his incident count. So a 4X might be the end of his race as well. So he's going to try and do what he can and race Pleva clean to get to the end here as we're coming up on the final 2 corners.
Yeah, here we go. So Pleva in a perfect spot. Trenton's going to have to make that SRF as wide as he can. He gets wide, though. Trent is going to have to go for some blocking here. Left, right. He goes right for now. He goes back left. Pleva is going to have to make a move here pretty quick. Pleva's not going to have the time. He does stick out, though. Trent Kramer's going to win this race by about a nose to Aleix Pleva, who finishes 3/100ths of a second behind Trenton Kramer, with Jorgmani coming home in P3. Jason Green's out of fuel. Jason Green is out of fuel, lost so many positions. Josh Justice up into P4. Christian Kabenka and Alexander Gorison come across the line extremely close. They both finish at, what was it, 379, I believe. I don't know what's going on. We've got battles all over the field here.
Yeah, Kabenka, Gorson, 0-0-0 the gap. So obviously within a thousandth of a second between those two. The iRacing timing gives it to Kabenka. We might have to get a replay of that at slow motion to see what we can see there. As we see the rest of the cars coming across, Michael G. Nelson will come across with the black flag, so that'll drop him down the order a few more positions as we still got more cars coming across. Kurt Nunez in the pits. Did not quite make it. Maybe he ran out of fuel as well. Sater is the next car to come across. He's a few seconds back, but we're going to get a replay here, which I can't see.
I can't see it either. Oh no, this is not good. This is terrible time for our broadcast to be. No, it's not okay. We cannot see anything, but I'm sure you guys can see it. There we go.
Oh, here we go.
We can see what's happening now. So we can see the push here from the back, and let's see what exactly happens. So we're going to see Jason Green out of fuel ahead, and Jason Green out of fuel completely, downshifting, and then behind him, there goes Justice, and that just causes chaos as drivers are trying to swerve away from Jason Green, who's trying to get to the start-finish line, who does make it. So I don't believe that's a Thompson Trophy, but God, that was close, Russ.
That was close. And obviously we want to get back and see that. So Hendricks sneaking by, but Hendricks has a black flag, so I don't think that's going to stand. As we are sitting on board there with Trenton Kramer, the winner of the race by 300ths of a second. Man, just a great race. Obviously, you see what the draft does for these cars. It kept about 8 cars up at the front group, and strategy just didn't pay off for several drivers. They tried to short fuel, and the pace was just too much. They could not save enough on the second half of that race, which leads me to believe they saved quite a bit earlier because it threw their fuel calculations off.
Exactly.
So not enough fuel in the tank because, Jason Green took 18 seconds worth, I think. Yeah, 18 and a half seconds. So obviously he was doing quite a bit of saving to miss the calculation by that much. But that's part of draft racing. It's, some people like it, some people hate it, but you can't debate the fact that we had a great finish with some excitement there at the end.
No, you can't. It's my heart goes out for these drivers that were in the battle, but like you said, that's just part of racing. Welcome to racing, folks. If this is the first time you guys have tuned in, fuel, no matter how good you are, fuel will always be better. You need fuel to be able to finish the race. And the one thing that I wanted to talk about before we get to the results here is you saw all the carnage that was going on there at the end of the race. That is basically a Weekend Warriors staple that XSLR has since adopted. But you ran out of fuel, right? You can't even partake in the shenanigans at the end of the race. So not only did you run out of fuel? But now you can't partake in the shenanigans, Charles.
I know, that's crazy. Unless they bring the shenanigans to you, which happens sometimes around here. I'm sure that Jason Green's car is not unscathed with him sitting on the front straight. I'm sure somebody collected him before it was all said and done. But yeah, it is, and this we talk about this. Strategy sometimes works, sometimes doesn't, but it's just great racing. Congrats to Kramer and Pleva. Great race by those guys. They did exactly what they needed to do. Got the job done. Made it close to the end. York Monty just, casual P3. Never raced anybody hard, I don't think, after about lap 2. He was just out there by himself. Justice coming across Kabanka in 5th. Just a great drive. Then Gorson. Looks like Gorson is our Spec 2 winner. So congrats to him. York Monty, obviously our Masters winner. So, and we have we have interviews to do.
We've got interviews, and I believe we've got results here. We're getting yelled at by our producer. Our producer has been telling us results have been ready for about 3 minutes here, so we can pull them up very quickly. We already kind of went over them. Trenton Kramer and Aleix Pleva, very, very close finish, but not the closest on the racetrack, as you're about to find out as we get through these. Trenton Kramer takes the win. York Monty, though, in 3rd position. Winners in Masters by quite a bit after Antonio Reese had a bit of an issue there, we think, in pit lane, or we don't think, we know he had an issue in pit lane, just decided to park it and call it a night. Josh Justice in 4th with Christian Kabanka coming home 5th. Alexander Gorison had a massive battle going with his rival Dmitry Lukinov for quite a while. Dmitry Lukinov got himself a black flag for incident limits, had to come in. That put Alexander Gorison in P6 by a mile compared to Manfred Floor, who comes home in 10th. Rich Meisters in 7th, Flavio Andalo in 8th, and Jason Green in 9th. Adam Bradshaw in 12th. Sorry, missed Matt Thompson. How can I miss Matt? He's got the same last name as me. The Thompson brothers. Sorry, Matt, in P11. Ian Joyner in 13th. Felix Samoz in 14th, and Nathaniel Schramm rounding out your top 15. Phil Berry, Andy Middleton, Joachim Osbeck round out your top 18. We're still looking at lead lap right now. Sammy Hendricks, Paul Jackson, Brad Cathcart, the resident Aussie, in P21. Daniel Wood in P22. Dmitry Lukinov, Jerome Shader, Jason Dunnington, Michael Nelson, Marcel Gorison, and Andrew Love in P28. Chris Murakami in P29 with Chris Thorpe in 30th. Mario Strelick in 31st. Klaus Muller in 32nd. Now we're getting to the lap cars here. Kurt Nunez, Dirk Braun had a terrible race. Clearly, he was very good for a while when we were watching him. Something must have gone very, very wrong for him in P34. Andres Svoboda in P35. Stephen Hicks, 36th. Wilkie, 37th. 38th is going to be Lorero. Calden, 39th. Sergio Dorelli in 40th. And get ready, we're just going to rapid fire these. Saunders, Jacobson, Marsden, Reese, Russell, Simpkins, Lasky, Telker, Adrian, and Halliburton. We're done. That rounds out your 50-car field today and your 50-car result that we had. But we do finally have some interviews here. And Charles, after going through that grid, buddy, I'm going to let you take the first one.
Well, let's bring in our race winner, Trenton Kramer. We'll drag him down and have a chat. There we go. Already done. Trenton, hey, congratulations. Hey, it's been a while. You just came back the last couple of races, and it's been a while since we've seen you. So welcome back first, and then congratulations. The right call at the right time with the right pit strategy and the right fuel amount.
Oh yeah, definitely planned that to a T. I had that exactly marked down on my list of things. Shush! All right,
he's lying. He's lying.
Leave me alone. No. There was talk in the chat about it going to 17, but like everybody was like, "There's no way it's going to go 17," and so I had 7 laps of fuel plus a half lap buffer in my head. Went in overfueled, or what I thought was overfueled, and suddenly everybody started panicking because they only fueled for 16. So. I made the call. It's time to get in front of everybody and start running. And Aleix came with me and had a great run to the line with me. So, yeah, ton of fun.
Yeah, these races, it's kind of a mixed bag. Some guys like these the draft races, and some prefer not to be running this track. But it's always exciting. It's a little nervous. I'm sure it's a little nerve-wracking for the drivers out there, especially when you've got a 50-car grid. So it's you got to try and find your spot, and just hopefully nobody tries to take it away from you.
Yeah, it was definitely a little bit more strategy than the typical elbows out tracks that I enjoy. I'm not usually one to run at the front of the pack when it comes to draft tracks. I make a lot of mistakes, and a lot of my mistakes get covered by that draft. But made it work today. I will say I cheated. I ran practice races and such this time around. I don't normally do that, but it was a great time. Thanks, huge thank you to Jason for giving me a good setup.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're going to ask you one question. So, we talk about our timing and scoring software, the SDK software that we use. It doesn't always calculate our off tracks correctly. So just out of curiosity, how many off tracks did you have at the end of the race?
I always use my off tracks, so I was at 10x going across the finish line.
Well, so fortunately it calculated it wrong because we had you at 18. So, which would have been a DQ. So, 10 still pushed the limits because you obviously you realize that if Pleva would have gave you a bump somewhere in that last half of a lap, that would have put you over the limit and caused a drive through. So another reason that we have some really good racing here because some clean racing here, or that would have been a very disastrous way to end that race.
Hang on, Charles. Before you, I know your next question is going to be who do you want to thank or shout out? Nobody cares, Trent. But the one question I do have to ask you. So we're at Road America, buddy. So obviously you've got some real life racing experience. Have you ever run your Mini around here?
Yes, it sucks.
Does it? That was okay. Well, that was going to be my question. Okay. So Spec Racer Fords are a little bit better to run around here. It sounds like than Mini Coopers.
Well, let's cover this up really quickly. The cars that I run are multi-class, and I have the weakest car in terms of straight line speed and acceleration out of the class. So running a track that requires straight line speed and acceleration sucks. Running a single make class like this, where you've got a whole bunch of draft and a whole bunch of good drivers running together, it's a ton of fun. Anything that has super high horsepower, where you're clenching all the way into the braking zones, hoping that it woes down enough, great track. Anything with 95 horsepower like what I have and almost 3,000 pounds worth of ballast and car, it ain't worth it. Just keep to the sim when it comes to that. So no, it's a ton of fun when you got a pack to run with, but when you're running by yourself, it is you might as well hop on 80/90 and just run it all the way west, and you'll get the same thrill as Road America.
Okay, that was good. Go ahead, Charles. You can have it.
That was a great question. And so now I will say, Trent will give you the opportunity to give any thanks or shout outs. So we'll let you go celebrate your victory.
Yeah, obviously huge shout out to Grass Paddock Motorsports if you're interested in getting into Mini Cooper race car rentals, preferably not at Road America if you don't want to be bored, but we can support it if that's what you want. We have a whole bunch of entry-level cars to get you on track, whether it be for a class or for any other events with SCCA, from T4 to B-Spec, H Production, and ITB for regional events as well. And then a huge shout out to Jason Green. Obviously, he does 90% of my setups. And hey, we got the better Thompson coming in here for an interview after this. I don't want to hear it.
True.
So, and huge shout out to the guy that's making the Thompson trophies, because without him, everybody else would have been in front of me.
There you go. So Trenton, thank you very much. Appreciate you stopping by, and congratulations again on the race victory. And we'll see you the next time that you're around.
Yeah, we'll see you guys.
All right, see you.
That was Trenton in the Discord, Nostradamus Kramer. So that always fun interviews with him, and we're going to go ahead and stick with the fun interviews, and we're going to get to the better Thompson here in just a minute, but I want this one. Jorg, the last time I interviewed you, you were at Laguna Seca, okay? And you said you were bored. Were you bored again today?
In the first race, I was completely bored, yes. But not in this one. No, that one was actually fun. To the point I lost the draft. But then, But it was actually fun this time, yeah.
So walk us through it, man. Obviously, you won Masters class. You and Antonio have been battling. You guys always battle every season. Antonio had clearly a bit of an issue on the pit lane. Are you? This really helps your chances. I mean, drop weeks are going to start coming into effect here. So, we don't have that many races left. You're doing pretty damn good to take your Masters win again.
Actually, I'm quite happy if Antonio is winning the Masters as well. I really don't care. I just have lots of fun with driving with Antonio all the time. That's all I
Why don't you let him win then, York?
I'm not that kind of nice guy. I like to win too.
That's true. That's true. So kind of walk us through, obviously, draft track today. You did not run into any fuel issues. Were you ever worried about fuel? Did you overfuel the car or not overfuel? Did you fuel it to the correct amount? When you came into that pit stop, did you waver between 16 or 17 laps, or did you kind of know right away what you were going to do?
I'm sorry, you're just talking gibberish to me. I just fueled the car up. That was it.
York, I don't know. I don't even know what kind of questions to ask you. How's the weather over in Switzerland right now, York?
Freaking cold.
Okay, good, man. Before I let you go, anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Yeah, to all of you guys, and of course our sponsors. They do a great job as well, as just you guys do. And I really like to hear your voice on broadcasting, as I do, Charles. And Guido, of course. And Ron as well. Oh, that's fine. I like Italians. This one part of Switzerland is the Ticino, and that's Italian speaking too.
There you go.
I like it. I like it when Jorg wins the class. That way I don't have to hear Guido complain about Antonio coming in here for the interviews all the time.
Yeah,
so.
That's true. Well, Jorg, congratulations, my man. P3 overall, first, obviously, in Masters class. You gained 4 positions as well. So congrats, Jorg, and I hope to be talking to you again soon, my man.
Yeah, I hope so too. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great evening.
You too, Jorg.
Bye-bye.
That was Jorg Monty. Always a fun interview. So, Charles, we've got Rich Meesters and Matt Thompson. You pick one, I'll pick the other, my man.
All right, I'll bring out because I don't need 2 Thompsons stuck together, so I'll bring in Matt and I'll interview him. So we'll bring Matt in here. Matt, congratulations! We got you finishing in P13, I think 3rd in Spec 2, but also the hard charger of the race, up 25 positions. Congratulations, great job.
Thank you. That was a wild race. Lots of excitement back at the back of the pack.
So yeah, I was gonna ask. Obviously, you started a little bit further back and worked your way through the field. We were watching. There were 2 big groups up the front, so we didn't always get to the back, but it looked like it was pretty chaotic back there. Lots of people shuffling around, just trying to find a spot to race. Is that kind of the way you felt about it as well?
Yeah, it was. There were several big accidents in the first 4 or 5 laps, and then I think another one a little bit later took out like 5 cars in front of me, and then just somebody would mess up, 2 cars would get them together and go off, and I'd have another 2 spots. And between that and a shout out to JRT Labs for fuel plan, and everybody else didn't.
I've heard good things about JRT and their fuel calculation system. So yeah, that's a good call. So are you a proponent, or are you for or against these draft races, or do you have a preference?
I'm not very good at them, and I'm really bad at getting a quality lap in them. But it's interesting. It teaches me new things, so I'm okay with it.
Well, there you go. Well, Matt,
I've got one more question.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
All right, Matt. So looking here at your SDK profile picture, buddy. By the way, hey, it's been a while. Nice to talk to you. But so looking at your SDK profile picture, there is a lime green Mustang going through what looks like the corkscrew at Laguna Seca. Do you do any real life racing?
I do not race, but I do a number of track days. And yes, that was me at Laguna Seca in 2019. I still have the car. I've tracked it at Sonoma, Laguna.
Willow Springs, right?
Willow Springs, yeah. Streets of Willow. I did Fontana before they closed it. The Roval there. Chuckwalla, Buttonwillow, and Hallett in Oklahoma, which I'm back in. I was in California for 6 years. I'm back in Oklahoma now. And so Hallett's my local. I need to get down to Eagles Canyon.
Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, that was really my only question, but you know, the profile picture, a lot stands out for me. You've got lime green wheels, and I just happened to look down, and that is maybe one of the brightest Ford Mustangs I think I've ever seen. So congratulations on that. Congratulations on your P13, Charles. I'll take it over. But anybody you want to thank or shout out for, you let you go.
Thanks to Stevie for putting this stuff on, and you guys for running the show. Edgar at Frito Sport and all the Frito Sport guys for bringing me up and teaching me racecraft, and like I said, JRT for fuel.
Hey, Matt, you got to do something for me here before I let you go. Okay, can you hit up Edgar Stancinelli, preferably within the next 3 hours, and tell him not to miss another XSLR race? Because every time I get into the comment section of XSLR, he's like, "Oh man, I wish I remembered to do those. I keep missing them." Well, just go remind him for me, will you?
I will.
All right, thanks, Matt. Congratulations, man, again on your P13, biggest mover of the race, up 25 positions, and I hope to talk to you again soon.
Yep, thanks, you guys.
That was Matt Thompson there. And we've got one more. We might as well get him. He's been hanging out up there. P2 in the Masters class, Mr. Rich Meesters. Nothing to shake a stick at either, Rich. You gained 11 positions in a track that it was really hard to gain positions on.
Yeah, it's a lot of being patient. It was, I think, a few gains there just from the folks that were having fuel troubles. So just had to kind of keep it together, not be too aggressive. And as my incident points mounted up, I had to definitely just sit back and draft a bit.
That was going to be my next question. Charles Boshell asked Trent Kramer the same question I'm about to ask you. What was the incident limit at the end? And did you start worrying about bump drafting too? We got to watch out for those 1Xs.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried about that at the end. I was getting a couple of bump drafts, and they were fortunately 0Xs. I was sitting on 11, and I think the incident limit was 13, so I just wanted to be extra careful. And I think that was about the last 10 minutes of the race or so that I was sitting on 11.
Well, you made it work, Rich. Obviously, you gained 11, and we keep talking about 11. 11 incidents, 11 positions, 11, 11, 11. But congratulations on your P7 overall, man. Great drive with 50 cars on track. And, I believe next week you guys are going to Jerez. What do you think about that?
I think it'll be another track. It's fairly long and not quite as long as here, but probably opportunities there for draft as well. Definitely not the twisty one, but it'll be an interesting one to go and race for sure.
It will be. You confident?
Moderately. I just trying to keep my nose out of trouble a little bit and race with these guys. And there's obviously some really good, respectful racing in here, and lots of guys to challenge myself against.
Absolutely. Well, you did a great job in this race, and I expect you to keep that up, Rich. Keep it up, buddy. But before I let you go, is there anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Thanks to you guys for hosting the event, and thanks obviously the Weekend Warrior guys for putting it on as well. It's just been a great series. I'm fairly new to it, but I'm looking forward to more races in the future with them.
Absolutely, Rich. And one more question, again, before I let you go. You've got an ARA tag next to your name, and you've got an Almeida Racing Academy tag on your car. So it looks like you might be part of ARA there, buddy.
I am, yeah. And racing with those guys and the learning that we've done has just brought my skill level up phenomenally. Just lots of, again, opportunities to learn to race and learn to be fast as well.
Well, it seems like it's working out for you, Rich.
Thanks.
Well, congratulations, buddy. I hope to talk to you again soon.
All right. Have a great one, guys.
That was Rich Meesters, finished P7. And also, again, nothing to shake a stick at, Charles. 11 positions to be gained around a track that you can gain or lose. And we talked about it at the beginning of the race as well. Remember what I said about starting the race? So we argued without arguing here, Charles, about starting the race in P1. Look at what happened.
Yep. Yeah, did not help matters for some of these guys. This is what you're gonna. These are the issues that you're gonna have around a racetrack like this. Yeah. But all in all, unbelievable racing.
Thompson Trophy, I am going to have to get a loan out if I need to make all of these trophies for the people that got it today. But big shout out to Jason Green for catching one, because Jason always gives me all kinds of crap for what I did in my first ever Formula V race. I've never done it again, by the way, guys. So just keep that one in mind. But Jason, welcome to the club, buddy. Russ, welcome to the Telker Trophy Club. Well, whatever. It doesn't matter, Guido. Guido's arguing with me again. But Telker, welcome to the Telker Trophy Club. Getting a black flag and getting DSQ'd before the halfway mark of the race. But other than that, I think we're done here, except I do need to mention some upcoming shows. Tonight, we do have still one more broadcast here on Slow Motion Broadcasting today. XSLR is going to be at Sonoma. Charles, you decided to run it yet?
Yeah, I got to paint a car, but yeah, I'll be there.
All right, good. So we're going to have Charles in there. Sounds like Wilkie's going to be in there as well. You can see myself and about 12 other idiots try to run around Sonoma Raceway Rallycross, just in case you didn't have enough Sonoma in the Formula Fords. And then on Tuesday, November 25th at 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be SRG F4 around Misano. And then Wednesday, again, 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, SRG is going to be in the F3s at Road Atlanta. That is a fun racetrack in those cars. Make sure to tune in for that one. Formula Vs are coming back for the Weekend Warriors on the November 29th around Okayama. And then we're back to the Weekend Warriors Sunday programming. Formula Ford 1600s at Lebanon at 2:45 a.m., I would assume, UTC. And then at 2:45 p.m. Eastern Time is going to be the Spec Racer Fords at Circuit de Jerez, and then again Lucas Oil Indianapolis Raceway Park for XSLR on Sunday, November 30th. But one more thing before we go. Again, massive shout out to Metro Auto Rebuild for sponsoring this full season of the Ray Esports Weekend Warriors League. This is now the Metro Auto Rebuild Weekend Warriors League for this season. But until next time, my name has been Adam Thompson. My name will always be Adam Thompson. I have had Charles Boshell in the booth with me, and Guido Marzucchi, the best Italian I've ever met, in the booth. From all of us here at SMB to all of you at home, have a great night.